And then the indoor. I will go. Good boy, just part. This is just for tennis.
Right. Now, is that a Wi-Fi setup on that one, or is that actually?
We did here. Sorry.
Oh. Fine.
I'd like to call the special meeting.
Can't hear you.
Okay, that's because I turned it off.
I just did. Is that better?
Yes.
Thank you. I'd like to call the special meeting of the Timber Oaks Community Service Association to order. It is Tuesday, January 20th at 9:35 a.m. Would we all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance in a moment of silence? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Maybe see. All right, Debbie, roll
Yes.
call.
Good morning. Eileen Dunn.
Here.
Paula DePace. Dave Kaufman. Mike Delph.
Here.
Rick Agler.
Here.
Donna Mosier. Susan Munian.
Here. Okay, proof of notice, Jack?
Proof of notice is posted Friday, was it?
No.
Last
Wednesday.
Friday.
Wednesday, last Friday.
Yes.
Okay,
I was out of town, so I posted it before I left.
I knew it was posted.
all right. Let me go over a little bit about how this is going to proceed today. We have presentations scheduled for 4 different companies. The presentations will be made by the different companies. The board will be asking the companies questions. At the end, the board will discuss, and then we will take questions from the audience. This is the same procedure we've used before when we've interviewed attorneys and other companies. We're doing this so you can hear the same thing that we're hearing. All right, our first is from Touchstone One, and my memory's short. Your name was?
Jack.
Jack.
2 Jacks.
We've got 2 Jacks in the room at least. Okay,
Okay.
let me turn it over to you.
You hear me?
You have to kind of almost eat it.
Okay. Like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, I should say a little bit about our company. Like Touchstone One originally started out about 23 years ago in Vegas, and we're doing kiosks for the casinos. You know, remember when you put in your card and you could be on the internet and write an email for like a couple minutes? That's what we started out. Then we started doing internet into the resorts and the casinos, like Wi-Fi networks and stuff like that. And then basically from that, we have grown to a nationwide technology company where we do pretty much anything that has to do with technology for resorts, apartment buildings, student housing, which includes like Wi-Fi networks, internet connections, cameras, obviously, technology like that, entertainment solutions. Like if you go into a hotel room and you turn on the TV and it says, "Welcome, Mr. Swift," and you can see the different amenities that the hotel or resort has. On the TV screen, we do that. We set up the Wi-Fi networks and a bunch of other things. So we have been doing, I would say, that then at some point we started doing cameras for hotels and resorts, and then we've grown that into apartment buildings, student housing, campuses and stuff like that, right? So we have quite a bit of technology knowledge as a company. Now we moved to Clearwater, have our main office here. We moved about 8 years ago, something like that. We're out of that office and we have about, I would say 60 staff or something like that. We have a bunch of people. I'm obviously one of the account managers, so I manage, accounts for cameras, Wi-Fi networks, entertainment solutions and stuff like that for student housing, senior living, assisted living, hotels, resorts, those kind of things, right? So we used to be called Hotel Internet Service, but it's kind of like very limited because we're not just doing hotels, we're doing so many other things. So that's a little bit about the company. I have been personal with this company for about 6 years. Yes, I'm originally from Denmark. I moved over here, met a girl in Florida, and I've married, have a little kid, and the rest is history, right? So, yeah, that's what I can say about us as a company. Is there any questions to that?
No, I think we're kind of want to hear what you're proposing for us.
Yeah, so as a proposal here, there's, I realized that I brought a bunch of papers and printed out some stuff for you because I kind of like had an idea with a smaller group of people that could show stuff, but I have it here, which is basically a layout of where the placement, I'll give you all this, the placement of the cameras, where we are planning on doing it for the clubhouse, where the existing cameras are, and where we add cameras. A little bit, there's an explanation down here in the bottom where you can see if there's like, it's red around the camera, then it's a new camera. If it's just the blue camera, then it's just the existing camera where we have the cabling already, the cord cabling. This is for the inside. I'll leave this folder for you guys so you can look it over. And then there's a bunch of, you don't necessarily have to, it can be a little bit technical. This is the first page here, but that's basically how you structure the network and how we would get it from here, in this building, distributed to the different cameras and so on, right? And the same goes for the expansion over there by the tennis courts. Again, we have a layout here of they are yellow here, and then those are the cameras where we're going to put the new cameras, and a little bit some pictures of where we intend to. We want to dig down cabling and not just do it via the Wi-Fi, so that we have what?
I can't see that.
No, yeah, I know it's very small. Okay.
Is there a way we could get copies of that so the board could have it?
Oh yeah, you can have it. Yeah, I was just planning on having a little meeting and then show it to you guys. And then when we do talk about the cameras and the way that we operate, and it's a general thing that we have as a company, we have decided on a road of quality over quantity. Meaning anything that we do, we try to do the very best we can find in a certain area, in a certain field. So for the cameras, we have what is called IC real-time cameras. It's a South Korean made camera, not Chinese, and it's intentionally not Chinese, because Chinese cameras and providers are known for, first of all, cheap stuff, but also there's been in the industry several reports and several things that has been found about Chinese cameras. They leave a backdoor, what they call a backdoor, into the camera so they can basically hack your camera. I'm not saying that that's necessarily always the case, but there has been many reports about that there is a backdoor into the cameras, especially if you put a server, cloud server, like where all your recordings are stored in the cloud in a server in China, then you're really at risk because they can just take whatever that and use it for whatever they want to, right? Which is not. So we have chosen the other route of South Korea, which is just like, LG and Samsung, Hyundai, those guys, they are known for quality products, technology, and stuff like that. So IC Real-Time are producing their cameras in South Korea, but everything is US based out of Fort Lauderdale in Florida here. And you will always get any support, you will get an American speaking person. The guys at IC Real-Time really, like we use their cameras because they stand by the cameras, and there's 7 to 10 years warranty on cameras. They basically replace them if they do troubleshooting with you for the cameras, and if they find out that it's something we can't fix or whatever with some troubleshooting, they just send you a new camera. This. So that's why we chose that camera. They stand behind their cameras. And even this is probably a very important thing. Even if you decide that you don't want to use our company, but you still have the cameras, you go directly to IC Real-Time and they will help you with the support and replacement of cameras and so on.
Jack, could you go ahead and address the cameras being 8 megapixel?
Yeah.
What that represents?
Yes, so actually, there's another one here, is a big thing that I printed out that gives you a very good idea of what the cameras do. That I actually want to have you guys
Yeah,
look
you know
at.
what? I'll just make copies for you.
Oh, you do? That actually shows very much the quality of the cameras, of how good they are at looking at things, especially in the dark. Because obviously, most things that you don't want to have happens in the dark.
Some of it you do.
That's usually how it is, right? So you want to be able to see people that do something that you don't want them to do in the dark. And there's actually in this one, huh? What?
That's when we've had trouble, and in the dark.
Yeah, there's actually one of these, what you will see on this printout, there's actually a warehouse totally dark compared to a warehouse where the lights are turned on, and how the cameras record. And you can see everything pretty clear with the whole warehouse dark. Pretty amazing. So that's why we have chosen to work with that camera brand for like 10 years. And then there's different 5 megapixel, 4 megapixel, 8 megapixel, basically the quality of how clear the picture is. You know that from your TV, you have a ultra high definition TV or 4K TV or whatever, right? And then of course, the higher that number is, the more clear the picture is. And when you zoom in, you can actually see faces, and you can see who that was. And the thing about these cameras also, in the dark, you actually see colors. That's correct, Dave. It is. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. You will see that. Yes.
Here on this one, you've got the cameras by this parking lot here. How far out across the parking lot are we going to be able to see with these cameras?
There is in the dark up to 65 feet of very good, and of course in the daytime you will see more, but you will see crystal clear up to 65 feet.
Now, will
Depending on which camera it is. I don't know.
like these are right here by the gates?
Yeah, so we have 2 different options, right? There's one that is using the existing coax cabling you have, and adding new cameras to those and installing new coax, additional cameras. Those are the ones that you will see with the
Yeah,
little
this
red.
is the blue ones. that's
Yeah, the
supposed to
blue
be
and
in
the cameras that are new installation cameras, you see red around it.
Because right here where these are.
Yeah.
This is more where we're getting the people coming in and out that's doing our vandalizing.
Yeah.
It's more on this parking lot right here.
Okay, and do you feel it's not covered enough?
I don't know, that's why I say I see the spots.
Yeah.
The spots are fine. I want to see how far out through the parking lot they're gonna get.
Yeah. I think that when we
Because if
get
they're
that,
just gonna be right there at the gate area, kind of pointing down, that's not gonna be very helpful.
yeah, you want it out of like, how long do you need to see, would you think?
At least half of the parking lot.
Yeah,
Well, in the proposal, Donna, we're adding cameras to cover the entire parking lot instead of the limited view that we now
Okay,
have. Plus, we're covering the gazebo as well.
right.
So if somebody hits your car, you can see it.
Yeah.
Okay. And
As long as it's
these-
65
Can these
feet.
cameras?
Yeah, that's where it's crystal clear 65. It doesn't mean that it stopped at 66.
From either the office or the cameras themselves zoom in or out?
Yeah, you can zoom in and out, you can, like, obviously it will record the picture, and then if you wanna look at, something, like, something happened last night, and you wanna see what was going on, you can zoom in and on the recording and see what, you can zoom it quite a bit, but there are different cameras that we quoted you for. If you run the cameras over the existing coax cables, they're called 5 megapixel cameras. Okay, there's actually in that thing that I just gave you guys, there's actually on one of the last pages, you will see those specific cameras.
I got another copy coming back for you.
Okay, so my handwriting was in there, yeah, it's been copied in there. One of the last pages.
Okay.
So if you look at, it's actually the second last page. It says, I wrote coax cameras. It says 24/7 full color HD with a fixed lens. Specs, don't go too much into the technical stuff. I think that the main thing is if you look at those pictures that shows like this one, for example, in the warehouse I spoke about, right? You see this one, whereas in the warehouse where you can see it's turned on like that. It's totally dark on the left side. All the light is turned off and you see what you see there. And then on the right side is when you actually have light in the warehouse. You see how clear it is on the left side? That's all in darkness. And there's also the page before, night color parking lot demo. You'll see that, see how clear it is. And the nighttime in the garage demo. And then there's a little bit about this smart dual illumination. It basically means that the camera's kind of like when it detects motion, it changes the setting in the cameras of how to record to get it clear. That's what that little drawing kind of tried to explain, right? And you of course can put perimeter and stuff like that. But it kind of gives you this 24/7 full color fit, really gives you an idea of how clear the cameras is, and that is covered in the 5 megapixel coax cameras that you have. So we gave a couple of options, right? Just keep the current cabling you have, add cameras to new cameras to that cabling, and add 7 new camera or cable runs, and add 7 cameras over coax. One thing I do want to say, that's one option, and then you can add the tennis court in that area over there with some like IP cameras or cameras over the normal Cat 6 wiring, internet cameras. That is all possible with the recorders. Hold on, I'm not going too technical here, sorry. But anyways, it's designed a way that I personally believe that the coax cameras that you have now, that if we install these 5 megapixel coax cameras, this is what you see. This is what you will get. You will get like a crystal clear picture. I did another quote for 8 megapixel internet cameras where we run brand new wiring and so on. And those are 8 megapixel. The advantage with running the new cabling, if you want to invest in something, is that you don't have any limits on how clear you can get the cameras. Like cameras, like in anything in technology, you know, it improves. You know, you have a high definition TV, then you have an ultra high definition, then you have a 4K, then you have an 8K, then you have a 16K, whatever. You know, it goes up. You know, when you have the cabling in place, it does, you know, 10 years from now, you can get the best cameras that are 256K or whatever it will be in 10 years, right? With coax, you are limited to 8 megapixel cameras. Like but still, that gives you pretty good stuff, right? Like very good stuff.
But let me ask you this, on running the 8 megapixel camera, would you get a better result out of the Cat 6
Can you use
cable
the
or the
mic?
coax?
Yeah.
Jack, can you use the mic?
The other Jack.
I'm asking, running the 8 megapixel camera, would you get a better result using the old coax or the Cat 6?
Yeah, obviously Cat 6. The 8 megapixel cameras will give you a better resolution. There's things that you can do with the cameras that you can't do with the coax cameras. I wrote that a little bit to Jack originally in an email and explained that a little bit. The coax cameras, they like I said before, you support higher resolutions when you actually run the new Cat 6 cabling, the internet cabling, right? There's much easier to do some troubleshooting of the camera system. You can use analytics, different analytics, AI and stuff like that. So there's something on the cameras that you get some benefits that way. And
What's the cost for replacing a cable? We eliminated that, how much? Say, how
yeah,
much does it cost?
so just to give you an idea of, like, if you just replace the existing cameras over the coax and we add new 7 cameras, right, then that comes out to almost 22,000.
Yeah, but you're missing, the point of my question was, that you're telling us that we probably will get satisfactory, but not absolute best, with the current coax that we have.
Yeah.
So my question is, how much more, if we do replace the coax, is that new cable going to cost us?
That costs you about, it's that full install with the new 8 megapixel cameras and the cabling is about 38,000. It's about 18,000 more.
That's with the new cable.
That's with the new cabling, the
Okay,
better
well, how
cameras.
much is that without the new cabling, with it staying with the coax? I'm just trying to decide whether I'm talking $1,000 or $2,000 difference or.
No, it's about double up for the 8 megapixel cameras and the cable runs. There's a lot of labor involved in the cable runs. The cabling in itself doesn't cost very much, but it takes a long time to take out the coax cables and run new cables, you know, internet cable, Cat 6 cable through.
Well,
that's very labor intensive.
The exact question is, if we decide to stay with our coax cable,
Yeah.
how much less money do we spend versus replacing it all with the new,
About
You-
20,000.
So 20,000 about is rough figures.
Yeah,
I have the
I
quote.
understand.
20,000 if you keep your coax, and 38 if you do a full replacement.
About $18,000
Yeah.
for the cable.
Questions?
Yeah, but Rick, that includes the cameras are more expensive, the IP cameras that runs over the,
Oh, you have to price cameras in that?
yes.
Oh, well, see, but the cameras, no matter which we pick, will run on either coax or, I can't, whatever the new cable.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna call it new cable.
Yeah, that's fine.
But the cameras will work on both cables. Perhaps a little, not quite as good, but
Yeah,
so I still haven't gotten down to, I would hate to try to axe doing that and find out I'm only saving $2,000 or $3,000.
Yeah. but you're saving about 18,000.
Well, you said that it also includes some of the cameras though.
Yeah, so the coax cameras you can only get in 5 megapixel. They have a limit on, actually the best cameras you can get are 8 megapixel. But the cameras we chose were 5 megapixel on the coax. On the new cabling, you have 8 megapixel cameras. Here, so they're better quality. They have some functionalities that these cameras over here don't have. So
So for that $18,000 roughly difference,
yeah,
we're getting new cable plus improved cameras.
correct.
Okay, good, Dave.
Thank you so much. I did a little research on the cabling because I think that's really a key ingredient for us.
Yeah.
And a term that I saw used over and over was future proofing.
Yeah.
In other words, the cabling's like a pipe. If we go with a pipe that's this little, when the new cameras come out that we can talk to them, they can talk to us, they can talk to intruders, etc. If you go with the coax, which is old technology, it limits your future ability as new things come online, to be able to hook up to these same cables.
Correct. Yeah.
So, having going to the expense of the Cat 6 gives us as a community a longer period that these will be serviceable for us, and they will also be able to accept the load in the technology load that new cameras and new technology would bring. Am I reading that correctly?
Yeah, that was what I was trying to say before. You get TVs that are better and better resolution. When you do the new cabling, you don't have any limits on the new stuff that comes out. If you keep your coax cabling now, we're pretty much maxed out on what you can get now, right?
So we'd be just putting off something.
You
that we're
could
gonna
say,
have to do.
and it is the right word is future proofing, because there is constant, technology developments and stuff like that, where you can follow that. Like I said, these cabling that you put in probably going to last 20, 30, 40 years, whatever, right? So it's actually an asset that you put in, and that will last you a long time. And then it's just a matter of changing the cameras, like 5 years from now, 10 years from now, whatever it is, you can change the cameras.
What's the estimated life of the coax cable that we now have if we reuse that? Is that only another 4 or 5 years or something?
I don't know, like the cabling in itself, like these cables were probably put in,
10 or 12 years ago.
13 years ago.
Yeah, but yeah, I have had hotels with coax cables that still run like 40 years later, right? So it's not the cabling necessarily that is the problem, it's just the limitation of the technology you put on top of the cabling that will be the limit.
I already have a question.
What about fiber optics and satellite that you're not even, and some things that you're not even using cable?
Yeah,
Where is that?
fiber optic is still a cable. It's just,
Right.
yeah,
So it's a better,
yeah, it's better. It's a better cable. Fiber optic is just a light. You just send
Right.
the information back and forth with lights.
is
Right.
that available? And what about satellite? Is that available? And then you're not even messing with cables.
Yeah, the problem with satellite and doing things Wi-Fi, right?
Right.
like, let's say you install a camera out there and you don't have any wiring to it. Whenever you have bad weather or things that happen in nature, that distorts the signal. So the communication between that camera out there and the receiver over here is unreliable.
You may not get a consistent.
Yeah, we do that always. We always want to run a cable because you know that the communication will go back and forth and you're not effect of nature, right? You would say, right? Things can happen and then all of a sudden, the wind came and blew the receiver to the side, so it's not connected and, stuff like that can happen.
Okay,
The squirrels eat the cable.
okay,
Yeah.
question for you.
Yeah.
So to kind of summarize this on between coax and Cat 6.
Yeah.
Coax is at its almost end of new invention.
Right.
In other words, any cameras that are going to be developed that we might want to change to in 5 years or 10 years, again, will not work with coax at that point.
Correct.
It's like the change from VHS to CDs to DVDs to who knows
streaming,
what,
yeah.
to streaming.
Yeah.
So that if we were to get Cat 6, and even if we were to say, well, what would happen if we changed to 5 megapixel with Cat 6? We'd be better off than the 5 megapixel with coax.
Yeah.
Because the Cat 6 allows us more function.
Yeah.
Than the coax.
Correct.
So it's like, do we want to put a Cadillac on a Volkswagen, a VW Bug, or do you want to put a Cadillac with a Cadillac, or maybe, with the camera being the easier to change than the cable?
Yeah, the infrastructure.
Yeah.
Not the cable, that example. Go ahead.
But
I understand all the stuff about the cameras and the cabling and all that stuff. I'd like to jump to the number 20 on your list, the assumptions and
Mhm.
exclusions.
Yeah.
Because there's some things in there that looks like it could cost us a whole lot of money to do.
Okay.
Like the first one, if we chose to change our cabling out, it's up to us to take the old cabling out.
No, we will, like, if we change the cabling, we take the old cabling out,
Okay,
obviously.
because it says in here, remove for our responsibility. We're the client, aren't we?
Yeah.
Okay, well, it says in there that it's up to us to take the existing coax cabling out. And it's up to us to bore holes in concrete. It's up to us to drill holes in the roof. It's up to us to do conduit work.
Yeah, I get
Just
that.
seems like an awful lot of stuff for us to do for spending 40 grand to put your camera system in.
I understand that. Let me just clarify that. Like, where are we?
number 20.
Yeah, so I need to get that updated because it doesn't make sense that you need to remove the coax cabling when we put in new cabling, obviously. Like then Jack would have to run around and take out all the coax cables and then we will come in afterwards. That's silly. So that is my mistake, that I need to remove that from the quote. You're not gonna do that. You're not gonna move the old cabling.
Why don't you just run the cable alongside?
Yeah. It's not always, it depends on how they're run. Sometimes it's actually advantageous to actually keep use the old cable as a pull cable. You can pull a new cable with the old cable, and then you can just pull it through, and then you have the old cable out, and you have the new cable in. Depending on how, I have not walked around and seen the exact,
Can you use the old cable?
no.
I got a
It
question,
was over
Jack.
2 years
Yeah.
old.
Sorry.
Quick question, under, assumption 20, second last bullet, proposal assumes the client will provide a boom lift if the installation tech needs it. This is a one-story building. Do you see the need for a boom lift?
No, I don't. I see a need for a ladder.
Yeah.
These are standard assumptions that we put in, and that's why this one, the first one I didn't catch.
And what about the conduit work, the others that are down on this list? Okay, removal, okay, you say we could X out removal of existing cabling.
Yeah,
Fireproofing, what are we fireproofing?
you're not fireproofing anything. It's just a standard.
Okay,
Something.
concrete coring,
Coring means like you're drilling through floors.
we only have one floor.
Exactly. So that's not relevant for you guys.
Okay, I can understand the permits.
We're not penetrating any roofs.
No.
And it says conduit work. Would, if we're running new cable, wouldn't you be running the cable through a conduit?
No, we will run them the way that you have run them.
Okay,
Or,
Yeah, but I did see in one of your pictures that had some kind
yeah, we add some conduit to run the cabling to the tennis area.
is that our responsibility?
No, we will run that, for sure.
my phone decided to answer me about cabling.
Okay.
But let's keep going to, okay, so, roof penetrations, we have none.
Yeah.
The proposal assumes the internet feed is located, yes, our internet feed, and and you're saying 60 days to record.
Yeah, I should have changed that to 30 days. I just spoke with Jack about it.
Okay,
And-
30 days.
Yeah, so that's 30 days.
That,
It's actually probably a little bit more than 30 days. It's probably 35 or 40 days, but you know.
okay, a minimum of 30 days.
Yeah.
But do you have the ability to download that every 30 days to save that information?
You can. Yeah, we spoke about it before the meeting. That's key. And then you had an issue with, you had a power outage and then you lost all your recordings, right?
Yes,
Yeah, that's really weird for me. It's odd. You wouldn't do this here. You would have it stored in the recorder or recorders. So that's strange.
okay, the client understands that he has touched on one, includes enough switches to cover and power up all cameras.
There's a very, very simple handling for that thing about losing recordings and cameras not recording, which we can advise you on or we can help you with. It's something called a UPS or battery backup. So you basically have all the equipment. If you have a power outage, then a battery device basically kicks in and keeps the equipment online for a certain amount of period until you have the power back on. Usually it's not like you're losing power for hours, right? You're using power for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, something like that, right? And that's where this UPS or battery backup would then kick in and keep the recording going. And then when the normal power kicks in again, you would continue like normal. That's, if you have a concern about that, it's just adding a device like that.
Okay, so I think we've gone through all 20, have we, on the list? Okay, Dave, you had another question?
Yes, this is kind of in the weeds technically, but your Seagate Skyhawk A1 16 terabyte video internal hard drive, you're listing us as an E002. I looked in, researched this piece of equipment, and they said that for 2026, which is now, you put this together before that the 004 is actually about the same price as the 002, but yet it has the hard drive, the double cache of 512 megabytes. So what's your opinion on that?
That's, that's good knowledge. I
to
didn't-
research this. I'm trying to
Yeah,
make
that's
a
good.
decision.
It's like, I'm very happy you researched it. It's like, of course, if we want to replace it with that, a newer piece of equipment for the same price, let's do that. I'm all for that. I was not aware of that.
Okay, you make a note of it then.
Yeah, so you're talking about the,
And then I have one more point after you get your note taken.
it was the hard drive you're talking about? No.
No, it's ST 1600 VE002 is now an ST 1600 or 16,000 VE. It's the third item on your first quote.
On the
Put that
on the
on the
fourth
material.
floor or the other one?
First quote.
Yeah, that's a 16 terabyte hard drive.
Yeah, I think that's not what Dave is talking about, right?
Yes, it is.
Oh, that's what you're talking about.
Yes, the third item on your material list.
For the POE,
It's a hard drive, the video.
Seagate Skyhawk A1 16 terabyte video internal hard drive.
that one. Okay.
Instead of a 002 at the end of it, I think that we would be better served if it's basically the same price as the 004 for 2026, which is what everybody's talking about, that it's a better, because it doubles the cache space to 512 megabytes.
Okay.
I mean, if you think I'm wrong on that or whatever, I mean, I'm just opening it up for discussion.
This 002 has 16 terabytes, which
Right.
is a lot more than.
But the cache is different than the
cache.
terabyte.
Yeah, it's good.
It's
Okay.
256 versus 512.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can get
My
that.
last,
Yeah.
my last thing I wanted to ask you, if you don't, it's okay with everybody, and that is, what's really important to me is what your capabilities for monitoring is. Could you tell us a little bit about what your installed base for monitoring is
Mhm.
and how that would actually work in practicality?
Yeah, so the monitoring, what we do for monitoring, and I will say monitoring is not something you have to have, right? Just so you know, even though it's in a quote, you can choose not to pick that service. We do not have a guy sitting and staring at a screen 24/7. What we do when we say monitoring, we check your cameras, making sure they're always online. We check the network. We make sure that the cameras is online all the time. Because the worst thing that can happen is you were not aware of, it's like something happened on the parking lot and 2 days prior, the camera decided to go black. For some random reason, right? And it's like, we have the recording. No, we don't. You know, that's really not good. So what we do is we monitor the cameras, making sure they're constantly, that we get alerts if there's some cameras that are down and stuff like that, right? So that we can either just go in remotely and troubleshoot them, or, you know, if we need somebody to go out and check the camera and find out what is wrong, then we call and say, hey, Jeff, run out and check that camera over there.
Okay, to follow up, are there people that do monitoring? See, we have no security here.
Yeah.
No physical security. And the reason that we're talking to you is to solve our issue with trespassers and people who are vandalizing our facility.
Yeah.
And monitoring, I think, would be, since we don't have a physical security, would be, is this equipment capable of being monitored by a monitoring service? And do you know of people that actually do that for equipment that you've installed?
Yeah, we can set that up.
And does it have the talk down capability?
Say that again?
I'm asking that, does the monitoring service have the talk down capability to address somebody in view of the camera?
Yeah, say Joe is about to break in and say, hey, Joe, stop breaking in. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The turret cameras have 3 capabilities. They can pan, they can tilt, and they can refocus.
Yeah.
But they can also, from what I understand, give us audio and video.
Yeah, they do that. The cameras come with audio.
I just
and
wanted
video, yeah.
Right, they're on the turret cameras.
Yeah.
That's capability.
Yes.
And those are the ones that we would have outside. So if we had those by the pool, if we had the service, they could actually talk to the people and say, hey, you're trespassing, we're calling the cops.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes. And if you need, if that's something, a service that you want, then we can help you with, or you can get a third-party company in, you know, that has that functionality, that does the 24/7 and looking at cameras and stuff like that.
You know, I just think I mean, we can have the best cameras in the world, but if there's nobody watching them,
Yeah.
and then we're always after the fact doing something,
Mhm.
that doesn't put us any further ahead after spending this money. So I'm really my personal preference, and, you know, we're 7 here, so each of us have our own opinion. But my feeling is that the best thing we could do was for nighttime hours to have somebody sitting on a screen and would be alerted by motion, and they would be able to look and see whether their people are just using the facility because it's open 24/7, or they're vandalizing the facility, and then through a speaker, these turret cameras all can talk and video back and forth.
Yeah.
So we could actually have somebody that says, hey, or a list of people to call, or some protocol that we
Yeah.
decide on.
Yeah.
Okay. And these are capable of doing that.
100%.
All right, are there any other questions?
Yes.
What? Go ahead, Rick.
Well, I go in and view our cameras, you know, the screens in the office at this time. And I look at them, and they look good. I mean, quite frankly, if I would be against us spending this kind of money, if that's the kind of pictures that we have all the time. So I have a question, and maybe I'm dealing with, you know, you're a sales, okay? Is there any companies around that go and analyze what we have and recommend to us what we should have, or that what we have just needs more lighting at night, you know, because there's a great deal of difference between seeing them today in the daylight, when all the pictures, everything's lit up,
Yeah.
versus at night and doing that. And of course, I'll mention to the board, the other option that they used to have here was had a night janitor from, I think it was 11 to 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. But does the quality of those, I don't come in here at night, okay? And does the quality of those pictures degrade greatly? I mean, are we really going to get that much of an improvement? Or are we just expanding what we're doing? I mean, you know, it's spend the bucks and you can go out and buy a Cadillac, but if you're just driving the kids back and forth to school, you might need an old Nash Rambler or something. You know?
I get you.
Yeah. And, you know, before we spend 40, 50,000. So I think your monthly charge, I think it was 136 a month or something, whatever.
Yeah.
But that is not anybody monitoring our system.
No, that was what I explained before. We monitor, we make sure that the system is working.
System
all the time.
works.
Yeah.
And is that once every 24 hours at least?
Yeah,
or-
we check it, like, I believe it's every single day. I believe it is.
But no
But
monitoring to
nobody
say,
like Dave
otherwise
said.
somebody could go in and tinkle with our wiring and like that, unless we see an outer reason to call and go back and check it. All we've done, similar to what we're doing now, is recording what's going on.
Yeah, you also have an option of getting alerts, right? So even if you have an idea that you want to have alerts over here on the parking lot from like 11 p.m. to 6 in the morning or whatever, and somebody gets those alerts, you can also do that.
That's our problem.
Yeah.
But
But
just talking in discussion here, that is a problem with us, is that I've been a president, a lot of these other people have been officers like that, and getting the call, you know, at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Hey, somebody's playing with a door over here. And
Yeah.
I don't think we're set up that we're supposed to be having somebody getting alert. Dave's not going to volunteer to, hey, you call me when something's wrong here. You know,
No,
we will
nobody
call
will.
if there's certain things wrong, because I know how reliable Dave is, I would call him. But, you know, it goes through. So what I'm getting at is, I'm not sure what bang we're getting for our, I know it's, your bid is like about whatever, there's nobody, other people, I don't think, but whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's getting close to 50,000. You know, what are we really getting out of that, other than a better system and more coverage than what we have? But it's still a look back type system.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be questioning with the board at our own discussion, you know, whether we really want to spend that kind of money.
Yeah.
although it's a one-time expenditure. And the month, the maintenance, that 136 doesn't include maintenance, or that's just your monitoring?
That we are monitoring. We can put a maintenance on, where we come out and check the cameras physically, like once or twice a year or something like that, like some month, because we are like an hour from here. We can send a tech out, going around, making sure all the cameras are working and stuff like that.
You're out of Clearwater.
Yeah, yeah. So 45 minutes at night and an hour. They're always longer here. But to answer, Rick, your question, those cameras that you have in there now, the quality of those cameras, I don't personally know. I think Jack knows more about what type of quality they have. So I don't know how they are at night, but what I can say is the cameras that you will see on this thing I gave you, this, this one, right? You will see that's the quality that you will get at night.
Yeah, you got it. So, no question, I don't want to say I'm a monopolist. There's no question in my mind that, it would definitely be a much better product than we have currently.
Yeah, and it's still the thing about the 10-year warranty on the product, right? On the actual physical camera, right? So if something happens, they replace it. And like I said, you don't have to, I think I mentioned that, but IC Real Time is a company out of Fort Lauderdale. Even if you're not using us as a service, you can call them directly and they will help you, right? Even if it's over the warranty period and whatever stuff like that. So you're not married to us in that sense, right? Yes.
What kind of maintenance do these things need? Like their eyeballs wiped every once in a while if something gets...
Once a year, I would maybe do it maybe twice a year. That's it. It's very, very, indoor, you don't really need very much, right? Outdoor, I would go around like once a year, maybe if you really want to do it twice a year, just clean the limbs, that's it.
One last question about the warranty. Obviously, if we choose you to do the installation, how long are you responsible for the work that you did for us to make sure that over the long term that it's working correctly?
Like we usually honor if we have made a fuck up, sorry, let me say it like that. We will fix it. And it's usually something that happens very fast, right? So we always give like 1 year warranty on it, with everything that we have. Specifically for these cameras, the warranty is way longer, right? But the work that we do, the actual installation of the equipment and stuff like that is warranty like 1 year. By then you would see if there's issues with it and stuff like that. But we always make sure that when we do an installation, we always talk to the customer and make sure they're happy with what we have done, right? Like, and if there's complaints, like we had an issue a couple months ago about something that was not installed correctly, and the customer sent us some pictures and stuff. It was way after the installation. Was like, okay, fine, you come and fix it. So like I said, we are a company that want to do a good job, and we do a good job. We're not like, that's why I'm still working here. I wouldn't work in a company that don't care about it.
The point I'm trying to make, though, is that you're mentioning the manufacturer's warranty on the pieces of equipment that you're putting in, but the installation of all the different components on this materials list, as well as all the wiring, generally speaking, on technology type things, if they work for a year, they're going to work for 10 years usually.
Exactly.
So I just want to be sure that if we were to choose you to do this job, that you would back up your work that you've done putting it in for at least a year.
Yeah, we do that.
So the manufacturer's warranty on the equipment is 10 years, but your warranty on the work that you do in the installation is for a year.
Yeah.
Is that in writing?
No, it's not on this. We have it in some master service agreement. But, if there's a recording of this, you put me on the record and I'll stand by that.
Well, there is a recording.
We are recording it.
Like, there's a lot of people here, a lot of witnesses, and I can give you my address and you can come it down. It's okay, I'm fine with that. I'll stand by it.
If there are no other questions from the board, Jack?
No, I don't have anything else.
I'll say thank you to Jack,
Yeah,
and we will be in touch.
good, sounds good. I want to say one last thing here. I did do a little bit, now you have the quotes that you have, but I did do a little bit of a best and final quote for you. So I'm saving you a little bit of money on the different pricing here. These are the new quotes that I have here, right?
Okay.
Same everything, except that I changed a couple of things and made it a little bit nicer for you. So on the big one with the new cameras, damn it, I need to make a note here myself. You will be saving about $2,000. So instead of 40, you will be paying about 38 on the new wiring and all that stuff, right? And I need to make this, let me take a picture. Because Dave said something that I want to make sure you get.
Yeah.
Good, okay. So I'll go back to the office and update this and we'll send it over to Jack.
Okay, fine. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for answering the questions. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome, of course.
And I don't know if the other Jack, our Jack, is the next company here.
He's running about 15 minutes late, 10, 15 minutes late.
Okay, we'll take a break for 10.
What about those people?
No, did you listen to what I said at the beginning? All right, thank you very much. We are adjourned, we are in recess for 10 minutes. Yeah.
Right. I just want to make sure because they're going to send it back, oh, we're going to charge for that. So we take out whatever. All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Jack.
Well,
All right.
We're looking at possibly taking two cameras off of any member that's accepted. With monitoring. Right. Yeah. And take those two cameras off your remote. And now go to that. Authorization. When we give them criteria, they challenge. Yes. Hey, I'm supposed to be here. So whenever they sense motion, look at those cameras.
No,
So that's our fourth that are now.
You got this one.
Yes. I think she got it. Yeah. All right. Yeah, you gave it up. They have it.
Good, perfect, okay. Thank you, Jack.
Thank you, thank you.
Experience.
Oh, I don't need to see, you know, the amount of money that We'll talk about that at the end. Yeah.
Talk to me in for a minute.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Jack.
Thank you, Jack.
Thank you.
Decent person. We
I have one
enjoyed your
question.
baby.
Totally related.
Oh.
Private agency, like the whole facility, whole. You have like different apartments, like row houses.
That is this combination of old homes and condominium associations.
Everything's individually owned. We don't, very little rentals.
We don't handle any of that. We're just responsible for this facility
All you are.
and do restriction enforcement out there.
Yeah, because like we also do, like I said,
County business. You've been there.
We've been there.
Been there.
Everybody calls you.
There's a lot of things.
Some other.
Really,
Yeah, they've been through that one. They don't
I'm not
want
trying to sell you something. I'm just gonna keep it real.
Okay.
oh, we know that we've saved a whole lot of money if we were to get one Wi-Fi thing. They turned it down resoundingly.
We got the whole auditorium.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
And turn it down.
oh, yeah,
They want to make their own decisions.
yeah. I know,
Everybody can save so much money.
we know.
to do that.
$30. You know, 80 or whatever.
I don't.
Yeah, we got enough, right?
We got.
Table's not big enough.
People want their own.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Okay.
It's a touchy subject,
I
right?
can see that, I did something.
Oh, 48.
I'm sorry, I hope that this is a fake. Susan, I hope this is a fake.
Oh, no,
I just had the thought.
Yeah.
Some people don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, see you. Okay, thanks, Jack.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know.
The woman I married. Oh, 63. Oh, that was one of them. Have your clothes. Try to move somebody else. I think it starts at 6 o'clock. Yeah. They plan to do it. Tonight, they're going to do it with good weather and bad. You know, I'm doing this. Don't worry. I'm not gonna start. I'm set up everybody's schedule. I'm not gonna get involved in forcing a change in the schedule.
Yeah.
Oh, this is, I fly high and low. When the other one turns it down, I said, nope, that's gonna be brought up there. Bring it up again.
All right.
I see.
I wouldn't change the schedule unless pickleball wants. When they plan to have one in January out there, they say they should change.
already have.
I mean, you know, you take a chance when you're doing January.
Winter will probably be over.
Don't run.
I won't run. I running like that.
Yeah.
I'm with you there.
Next winter should be insured.
I used to run a lot.
I did too.
You remove that Achilles tendon. They say you made a little more foot. Yeah.
Have that done too.
You don't. You have yours operated on.
Yes, and put mine back together.
Well, they were going to, they wanted to, but they told me you're diabetic, you take a risk of losing your cholesterol. By 10 years ago, I was. I walk around like this. But I didn't realize it was so much. I mean, it's being unsteady and I don't have foundation. I'm glad.
Yeah, they fixed mine
How old were you when you had it done?
They did mine about 35 years ago.
Oh, yeah. I was under you. I was probably 60. They told me, you'd have to be in a cast for a couple months, you'd have to be in a boot for another 4 months. And after 10 to 12 months, it'd be about 80%.
I was in a cast for 6 months. Starting, the first one was a cast that came all the way up to here. All the top was in my toes.
I don't want to think about it. I had to go. I really like medicine. I had, she gave me medicine.
We have a way now.
Lucky didn't do both. But, hey, first time here. Oh, this doesn't look. This gonna cost.
Yeah.
This gonna cost.
That's all I'm
Well,
just
they
saying.
were going to see paper.
I was just gonna say, how much is this gonna cost you boys?
Neither one of us are really shoppers, so you're cheaper. So like,
I really think there's some serious odds here. I like it. We had a janitor come in here. 7 at night. Clean up, do 8 hours of work, and leave us, I'll leave us 7 the next morning. You know, when the other guys are coming in. And put under it is some duties to observe and report, no apprehension, none. So, police active. You're in here doing that with lights on, you see something.
Somebody around that.
Well, I feel like that gives somebody doing something that is positive. I see the way it's having starts. I think. When you sit there 8 hours.
Would that still cost you?
Oh, you have to pay another way. You still take a risk. You'll wire cut. This is not. I don't think. One guy there in the all night. But it's supposed to. Now that person. Oh, shit. That's our responsibility. We'll have to get my higher. Supposed to be observed.
Your only job would be to say something.
Pay somebody to sit around. Pay somebody to I started my talking. Everybody should try to have schedule. You know what I'm saying? When you give them money.
All right, so you want-
Yeah.
Where do you want me?
John, They've got money.
You start with introduce yourself, introduce your company, and a quick review of your proposal, and then they'll have the question. Okay?
I like this, you check.
Easier than that?
Well, I'm really, I've been here. Talking to Mike.
Yeah, well, the other associations do it down here.
You have anything on?
No.
Make sure you get your tip like on board. Hey, I've even learned that as an infantry commander, yeah.
Yeah.
I had to train myself out of that. Can we put one in the middle? Thank you.
The other vendor ran over a little bit, so they- oh, no worries. They took a break.
No worries. I'm glad.
Yeah. Got everybody?
New ones.
Mr. Dave. Where's Mr. Dave?
I got it. By the time I got it.
Okay, folks, this is William from Masada Security. He's our next vendor on the list. And,
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, fine people of Timber Oaks. Thank you for the invitation today. So, I'm William Burnham, the owner and license holder of Masada Security. I've been in business 30 years, and I'm a local guy. For the last 25 years, I've been living, raising a family on St. Pete Beach, and I went to high school in South Tampa, Plant High School. So I very much would like to be of service to you.
Okay. You want to start?
Well, so I gave you a quote for 28 cameras, fixed lens cameras, and then 3 varifocal cameras. The quote total with tax was $28,258. I use Invitech equipment. I like Invitech equipment because it comes with a 4-year warranty, which is the best warranty I've found in the industry so far. We're family owned. People kind of like our
How much
company.
did you say that was?
With tax, $28,258.
you got it in your packet there, though.
It's
70 cents.
70 cents.
okay, and all right. Now, this is with installing cat cable,
Yes, Cat 6 cable,
cat 6 cable, and it,
8 megapixel cameras.
8
8 megapixel IP cameras with an APC battery backup. Price includes all labor, wire, installation, networking. There's no monthly fee. Whoever is allowed to access, you can have it on your phone and you can review footage from your phone. You can do playback, you can, but you just have to have an app loaded on your phone for that.
The Cat 6 wire, is that just for new cameras or is that for everything that?
We were gonna replace all the existing wiring.
Okay.
Okay, and then the additional quote is for the tennis courts and all that. And that's an additional $5,000.
That is correct, yes.
I am rounding up.
Hey, William, I've got a question on that 20 terabyte hard drive. About how many days of storage with all those cameras are we looking at?
Probably only a couple of weeks. You can go up to 40 terabytes should you want to increase that.
I think a couple of weeks is plenty. Because we can always download onto a stick of any incident that we need to save.
All right, so you're saying probably 2 weeks worth of storage. And if we got a 40 terabytes, I lose track of all the bytes here. That would be probably 30 days.
Yes.
And how much more is about,
Another 20 terabytes would be about $600.
okay, so it would be, bring it closer to 29,000.
That is correct. You can always add it later if you desire to.
And it's all with Cat 6 wires, so everything would be Cat 6.
Yeah, all the existing cameras would be new Cat 6. Well, we're doing all new cameras, so yeah, it'll be all new wire runs, basically a whole new installation.
In our coverage, we'll cover like all our parking lots, all our tennis courts. If something happens here in the nighttime, these cameras have night vision, and when we come down to look at the recording, we'll be able to see them in our parking lot, make out who it is, maybe even read their license plate number.
Well, I don't want to overpromise. It depends on the view.
They did say maybe.
Yeah, maybe. So you can pinch to zoom. So like if you're reviewing footage, you can pinch to zoom and zoom in on things. You can use the mouse and put the clicker over. Like, let's say you have a wide view like this, but there's an object over here you're trying to see. You can move the cursor to that, and it will zoom in on that particular section. So yes, I think you're going to be very happy with the cameras, but see.
Tell me what the cameras do.
They're fixed, so they're gonna see what they see. So it's like a 90-degree angle that they see. So they're not gonna be moving around or anything. The varifocal cameras, what those do is they allow us to focus the lens on something maybe further away. Like if you're trying to look at the back of the parking lot, you want to see that area, or if there's a choke point, you want to kind of focus on that choke point. The varifocal cameras will allow us to focus in on that. So you'll be involved in the installation. So when the cameras are being installed, you're gonna start seeing the views. And you're going to go, okay, well, we want it more this way, we want it more that way, we want it more focused in. So you're going to be checking off on all the camera angles on the installation, so you get what you're looking for.
Excuse me.
Playback is where
Oh,
we need to really.
when you play it back, can you can
Zoom the
shift where
same
it's
way.
looking at while you're playing it back?
Yes, I actually had some people illegally dumped some garbage in front of my office not too long ago, and I was able through the cameras to get their license plate. I was able to focus in on their license plate, and I won't mention them because they ended up giving me a case of whiskey for it. But Horse Soldier whiskey is a good whiskey.
I've come done some stuff over here.
Yeah, so you can if you get an image you can zoom in with that image and see what you're trying to see. I hate to answer the subjective questions because you never know, but 8 megapixels is really the best you're gonna get right now. So I think you'll be pleased.
All right, and the Cat 6 will allow us to upgrade with other cameras.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Cat 6 is what you want because all the future technologies is gonna be over Cat 6. And so, yeah, so you're gonna have you're gonna have good bones should you want to upgrade later. In our industry, generally 9 years is about the lifespan of cameras in an NVR, the way the technology is always changing. I can tell you that, and you're gonna be sitting here 10 years from now, but the cameras will last a long time, but in our field, that's usually people start upgrading about that time.
Take the time again. They upgrade the cameras when?
Yeah, 7 to 9 years.
Well, we've had our installation for 13 now, so we're over there, so.
You can keep them as long as you want.
These have infrared capability?
Yes, they do.
That's already foul.
Sorry, Val.
All right, and these are color cameras, and even at night, they show color?
No, so if you want color at night, you need to do what's called 24/7 color cameras. But you may not like those because those have a light on it, like a little floodlight that stays on. And you will only get color within that range of that light. So it's your decision if you want that 24 colors, the 24/7 color.
But it does have clear black and white capability in my.
Totally, yes. You'll see, 8 megapixel, which is 4K resolution. The only other thing is the monitor that you have that you're going to be watching this on. You just want to make sure that's a 4K monitor, so you see the true resolution of your cameras. I don't know, did I quote a monitor?
I don't believe so.
No.
Yeah. So you just want to make sure that screen that's behind the manager's desk, if that's an older, like 1080p, you're going to want to pull the trigger on a new 4K monitor so you see the true resolution. Otherwise, you'll be seeing 1080p instead of 4K.
Can this system be, like if we wanted to use a third-party company to monitor this at night, can somebody else that's capable that they can?
Yeah, I have a third party that I could recommend to you, but yeah, it's nothing proprietary about this. Anybody can come work on it. And yes, a third party could do cloud storage or do monitoring for you.
Another question, do these cameras have speakers built in and out speakers?
They have audio where they record, but you can't talk through them.
Okay.
But there are cameras that you can do that with.
Okay.
What's the difference in price? For the ones you can say, get out of the pool.
Those cameras generally run about $250 more than these cameras, and you can talk through it.
Oh, I don't have my, I'm supposed to. Though.
No, I can hear you.
Yeah, well, the cameras, who can speak? Would that be strictly the office, or could this be the off-duty monitor has a way to speak through that speaker?
You could speak through the app. You'd have to have the app on your phone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's how you would do it.
But it's fairly easy then, it's not a.
Yeah.
You don't have to wire it, you don't have a dedicated phone line and all that.
Now, just remember, anytime you're reviewing the cameras remotely, like on your phone, or you're going to be using the two-way talk, it's going through the internet. Of course, I don't control the internet. So if you're looking at the cameras on your phone, you're not going to be seeing 4K resolution because it's streaming through the internet. You're always going to see the 4K resolution at the monitor. So if you're ever doing playback and you're trying to provide something to the board or to the police, you really want to do it at the monitor with the mouse. Okay. So trying to answer your question is when you're talking through the app, if there's any lag or anything on the internet, it could be like you say something and then a second later or 2 seconds later, it comes through the camera. Sometimes there's a delay because of the internet.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we kind of want something, at least by the pool or something, because we feel that the voice will stop.
Rick,
Rick, let me just interrupt you, I'm sorry.
All right.
The fourth vendor we have coming is here to discuss 2 cameras, one on the spa and one on the pool deck that has the talk down capability, monitoring, motion detection, the whole 9 yards.
And we saved $250 times 2 from him.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, that's,
Thank you.
no,
Thank you,
I'm
Jack.
with Rick. My question would be, if we're looking at $250 to upgrade a camera and we only need, a half a dozen of them with that upgrade so that we have the talk down feature, then we don't need that.
And the question remains, who's gonna be the one monitoring it?
Well,
Yeah, Jack.
I see that being a third party vendor.
Which is what the other would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can talk. We can,
We can finagle
Do that
that
later,
after,
yeah.
yeah.
it is recommendation and some of it.
Just for clarity, I've never had anybody add more than 1 2-way talk camera. So I would just have to check on how many capable of handling. So that one particular issue, you'll have to let me dig into a little bit.
I'm just suggesting we might want one at the pool and one over by the tennis courts and bocce courts in that area, so.
Yeah, you can start with one of mine and see how you like it, because it's not that expensive.
I do see a value in having one person, one company, Jack. If they have the capabilities of the big installation, hire somebody separate to just have a couple of cameras. I'm just thinking out loud here, but I think it would be better that we know that the other fellow just left has the same capability as well, so.
I would think if we decide to go with you and your prices and all that, and then when you make a decision that, well, we got another place we want one at, it's just another $250.
Plus the original cost of the cameras that I quoted you. So they're about $250 in addition. Yes, it's just more money. That's all.
A little bit.
Plus running the cable.
Plus, running the wire.
Well, the wire would have been run to the camera anyway.
Correct.
So it's
Not if
just,
you're adding one.
no, he's saying put on that one instead of the one that was there. If we wanted to change one into a talkie, we just have to change the camera. Because the cat would take care of it.
Did you do a schematic, or are you changing some of the location of these cameras?
I was using all the existing locations except for the new locations that Jack and I walked together, which, should you choose me, of course, we're gonna go over that again and nail that all down. So I kind of just giving you guys the broad strokes, when Jack invited me over, we walked the property and, how many new locations it was, Jack? I think 8.
We had 2 out the front walkway, 2 over on this parking lot. I think adding 1 over on the parking lot on the far side of the building. Plus we're adding 1 in one of the rooms here in the interior, plus 1 under the canopy out back. Yeah.
And so if somebody hits some.
They should. I mean, they're going to see just like your human eye works. If there's something in the way, then it won't, but they should see the parking lot.
I mean, we'll go far enough back.
Yes, that's why we have a couple of varifocals, so we can focus in on the farther parts of the parking lot. And you can always add more, should you desire. You feel like you don't have enough coverage, we can always add more, of course.
But your professional opinion is though that with what you've already added in this proposal, that should give us adequate or more than adequate coverage.
I think you're going to be pleased, yes.
Question on for the courts, there's nothing extra do we need a pole to put one of the cameras up? Or?
No, I think we're going to try to mount the cameras on the little roofs of the shuffleboard.
Mhm.
Kind of one looking down the bocce court, one on the shuffleball courts. And then we were going to try to use the actual tennis court vents and do a back box and cover the tennis court. And we were going to kind of do a little bit of a trench. Those sidewalks have a joint like a rubber joint. We were just gonna run the wire between that joint there. Kind of, it's low voltage, so as long as we vary a few inches, nobody's getting hurt. So we'll use direct burial. But you shouldn't see any wire, and I shouldn't have to put up any poles.
Okay. Curious on that. All right, anyone else? Questions? No. All right, so we'd have the option if we wanted the 250 more for a camera. If we went, how much? I thought when I was doing this, that 250 besides being talkies, would those then be color, or how much more is a color camera off of a?
Color cameras aren't that much more. They're probably only like $50 more, but the thing that some people don't like about them is to get that color, they have like a little floodlight on them. It's a bright light that you can't turn off at night. So some people don't like that. So I just want to let you know that.
But it's only on at night.
It's only on- it's only
When
on
the
at
room
night.
gets dark, it turns on.
It turns on, yeah, but you can't turn it off.
Go ahead.
Okay, now I'm just, I was under the impression that your cameras are in the daylight, in color.
Yes,
Yeah.
Okay.
We're just talking about at
It's
night.
just at night that
Yeah.
you're thinking
Yes.
about.
If you want
Okay.
color at night, you need this special camera.
Okay. Any other questions?
Who makes this camera?
It's an Invit camera.
Yeah, it's a Chinese, what is it?
Well, everything's made in China. So
Is that,
yeah, it's approved by the National Defense Act, but it is made in China. All of them are. But you do get a 4-year warranty on these, which is why I like them.
is there any trouble getting the parts for that?
I have a feeling if something goes with it, you don't replace parts, you just throw it away.
There's no
Yeah.
fixing things, you just send it back, that's what I
You
like
just
about
send it
this
back and they
company.
give you a new one.
They give you a new one. They try to keep you happy and selling them, so. They don't give me a hard time when I have to send things back.
What's the warranty?
4 years.
All right. Any other questions? Mr. Williams?
And what's the warranty on your labor?
I'll be here for you until I hit the lottery, okay? We have a 30-day workmanship. If we have to come back for any reason after 30 days, there's labor. If there's any problems within the first 30 days, we come back at no charge. The manufacturer gives us the 4-year warranty, so if any of the components go bad within the 4 years, I can replace them at no charge, but you're paying us when we come back after 30 days.
Jack, did you have any other questions?
No, that was fun.
I want to say thank you very much for coming, and we will get back to you.
Thank you for the invitation. Have a nice day.
You too.
I missed your last.
Burnham, William Burnham. I am one hell of a good American.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
You
Thank
too.
you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
1 minute, we got one board member coming back.
Right, you guys ready? Eileen, Dave? Oh, we lost you. Oh. Hi.
Hello, I'm Alan with Triapco.
You have to put that really close
I'm
to you
sorry.
so they'll be able to hear you.
Is it on?
Yeah.
It should be green. Little green light.
There we go. Hello, testing, hear me?
Yep.
I'm Alan with Triapco. My son and I did a quote for you guys for the cameras. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I have a few quotes, different ways we could approach it. So,
Could you review it with us then?
sure. So the, what do we have quote number,
Close to the mic, because we've got an audience that likes to hear too.
we have quote number 994, which is changing all the wiring out to 8 megapixel cameras, which are about the highest resolution you can get.
Why don't we have it?
We don't have that number.
You have 993?
We got 995.
993 is the same. So that's eight megapixel cameras. All network cameras, so it's all IP. Some of them are motorized, so you can control the focus and the zoom from the app or from the DVR, NVR. I believe that one is, we have 33 cameras on that setup. And then we have the outside area, which is an additional 4 cameras with an additional setup outside too. Because the way it's set up, it's hard to join it together with it. So, and then the quote before that, we have 992, which is 5 megapixel cameras, which is still a good view.
We don't have the two.
You don't have 992?
No, we
We
just
already
have,
have 993.
So 983 is what we want to use? Okay.
Well, no, I want to use whichever one you're going to present.
We can have copies. If you want
It's up to you guys. I mean, we've been in business since 2008.
Dave,
I know, but the other guys gave us.
well, please, no more. Okay. All right, question for you. The cameras that you're suggesting I'm looking at 993.
Okay,
The cameras you're suggesting at night, are they color or black and white?
they're color.
They're
They could
color.
go either way, but they work as color as well.
They work as color.
There's some disadvantages to that. Because it doesn't, if you don't have an area that's well lit, it's not gonna detect it further on sometimes if there's no light back there. So that's when the infrareds are more of an advantage to the situation.
Aren't they infrared?
They have infrared as well, correct? But, so you can do either way. So it depends on the situation, whether we set it to color or infrared. Most of the time it's okay with color.
Well, what's the difference? Is it infrared doesn't do color?
No, infrared, when it goes to night mode, it shows everything black and white. So it kind of lights up the area more of it uses more of a heat and whatnot to see things.
Okay.
But yeah, a lot of the new cameras coming out now are color. So what they do is they have a little light on them. So this light will always be on. So it has a little spotlight on the camera. So it lights the area around it. And that allows the lens to stay where it's supposed, so it can see in color. So it's drawing off that light.
How far would that go?
It depends on the light situation outside. Like if it's by a light post, it'll see all the way out just fine. So if you're like spacing the parking lot and there's
Like the
lights way
parking
back
lot.
there, it'll see well back there. But if I'm doing something in somewhere where there's no light and the light comes on, it might show about 20 feet around the camera. So in that case, it might be better to use infrared because it reaches further. But the camera has the option to do both.
So then color doesn't really matter. If you're looking for distance.
Yeah, it depends. Every situation is going to be individual. Because you can look at the camera and say, hey, I like that one in color a little bit better because I'm seeing further. And then another one could be totally different, depending on what it's drawing on around it.
All right. Another question. Are these cameras both, can they do voice in and out?
No, they just have, some of them have microphone ins. So you can hear around, you can hear them, but you can't talk back. There's no speaker in the camera.
You can't monitor them and say, get out of the pool or.
No. That's more like when you're talking with Ring doorbell cams and stuff like that, have that type of technology. These type of cameras don't really, they'll have microphones on them to hear, but you're not really able to speak out to them.
What's the difference in price if you want a camera that does that?
We don't have anything in our arsenal that does that. It's something that we do in this neck of the woods. It's usually not wanted, so it's not really.
Go ahead, Rick.
Okay. I'm not sure, I'm not organized here, okay? Apologize. I'm looking at 991, 992, 993. Which I have two of. Well, I got two. 995. Oh, 995, I guess that's the last five. But I don't have a 994. Now, is your total bid the total of all these, or?
No, these were just different options. The original time we came here was 991, was to use the same type of technology that the cameras are here now, just change all the cameras out and then add some. So we'd be using the same cables, which is, it's called HD over coax, the way it's set up now, or the way it can be set up. So it's high definition cameras, but it uses coax cable as opposed to Cat6 cable, which is all on all the other quotes.
And that was 991.
991, correct.
And 992 is?
.992 is IP cameras. So that would be the changing all the cables out. But that's 5 megapixel instead of 8, so that's middle of the road in the quality of the image.
Okay, those are 5, this is 5 megapixel versus 8.
Correct.
8 megapixel. And
Okay. So what should I go on to? I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm gonna try to identify all four sheets. No, 993 is
8 megapixel with Cat6 wire.
So 993 and 994 are the same quote. I had it twice in my books for some reason.
okay.
And then 995 is the outside area by the shuffleboard courts.
So that would be, 995 would be an additional one. To one.
Yeah, right.
And just to complete 993, I don't know why I have that identified as to what that's is.
that's the 8 megapixel with the Cat6.
With new cable.
Yes.
Yeah, so I have 993 and 994 identical quotes. If you have both.
We don't have that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Dave?
I see, I looked up on the resource management website, understand you're a preferred vendor with them, is that correct?
Yeah,
And what is your installed base, of these, how many units, like, of this size project have you guys done in the last 3 years?
3 years. Maybe like a dozen.
Okay.
Yeah, for resource man, we've done a pool area out, I believe I can't remember the name of it, it's out this way. And then we did another property in Palm Harbor for them. That's one of the ones that we've done for resource properties.
Okay.
Actually,
Thank you.
that might be it. Yeah, I think those are the same companies.
One further thought, you mentioned Ring, and there was someone in the audience that was mentioning Ring technology for this type of application. In your professional opinion, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, Ring is fine for doorbell, but for as many cameras as we have here, you're gonna have a nightmare trying to keep everything online. Because everything is wireless and it's trying to get IP addresses. So if you have 32 of those cameras, we have a customer that's trying to set, so he's not doing it with us, but he's trying to set something up in Tarpon Springs at a mall, and he has nothing but problems with it. It's all wire, all these IP addresses trying to get into one unit wirelessly is just, you're gonna lose cameras. You might have 28 of them working, and there's always gonna be one that's kind of offline. That's just not thinking correctly.
And then I understand you quoted us both using the coax that we now have,
Mhm.
the Cat 6, which is what a lot of people term as the future.
Right.
But there's also fiber optic. Is there applications for fiber optic cable that can be?
Not in this situation, because basically the fiber optic would carry multiple signals, and then we would have to take it to a box, and then it would have to split it out into IP or Cat 6. Because the cameras all communicate to Cat 6. Now, if the cameras were fiber optic directly, then it would, but there's nothing like that yet for cameras. So basically, the fiber optics would extend your signal, but for here, there's no need for that. These aren't long enough. I mean, you're talking thousands and thousands of feet before that might even be needed.
Or, excuse me, just have one last point, and I'll turn it over to you. What is the warranty for the cameras that you have? Did you say?
3 years.
3 years for the camera, and then what about you and your son's work that you do? Putting the system, installing it, making sure that it works?
Yeah, any workmanship's pretty much lifetime. Like if we have an issue with something that we do, but I mean, as far as like connectors and what like that, it's probably about the same 3 years for the connectors and whatnot, but I mean, it's for installation stuff, it's lifetime. For anything that, it's kind of hard to say, but anything that could be a defect in anything that we do. But as far as the cameras or the electronic equipment, no, it's not, it's the 3 years.
Thank you so much, appreciate it.
What's your thoughts on wireless?
So it's okay for some instances, but for when you have so much that you're doing, like if you had 1 or 2 cameras, it's fine, even 3. But when you got so many, it's hard for everything because when you have a wireless situation, everything has to get an IP address so it's trying to give out all these addresses, and one might try to get the same one as one of the others. So you're gonna have a conflict, and some cameras won't come on.
Can we use this coaxial cable is like 2 years old in here? Can we use that?
It can be used, yeah. I think it's older than that, though.
Oh, okay.
Our cable is about 12, 13 years old. So,
And one of the copies they brought you is using it.
Yeah.
yeah, the first one, the 992 was using our old cable, was the coax cable. Now, when you joined the sports field, the 995, we have the 32 channel, will it still show on the same monitor that we have? When you put, if you put from the tennis courts?
Yeah, it would,
Or do we need a
it would
different?
be an individual login from a phone app, but I can set it up to log in on the same window on a computer.
Okay,
So it's VMS software that we load, and we can load up to 100 NVRs in one thing. You can have as many images as you want.
okay, so
So-
what I'm saying, right now, we have the one, old school TV screen
Right.
above the, by the front desk.
Mhm.
Will the tennis courts wouldn't necessarily show on there. We'd have to go look for
It
them.
would be a separate monitor we need for that setup.
We need a separate.
Unless you're viewing it on a computer, we can set the computer software up to see everything.
All right, but if we wanted it so that we could just glance at it and say, oh my gosh, so-and-so fell at the tennis court.
Yeah.
We would need another TV screen
Or we
just for
could do
that.
like a situation where you have HDMI 1 and 2 and you just send it into HDMI 2 and just hit the source over
Yeah,
the
but you'd
other.
have to keep going one over the other. We would want it set up so that we can see both at the same time, because we've got people here and people there. And if someone's glancing at it, so we would have to, I imagine, a smaller screen, because there won't be as many cameras. Just, we'd have to mount another, I'm
Yeah.
calling them TVs, even though they're monitors now or whatever.
If we wanted to use a third-party company to monitor these at nighttime when nobody's around, that capability is there.
I don't think monitoring companies, they usually like to try to use their own stuff. So, they'll probably try to, like ADT and whatnot, they have their own equipment that they use for stuff like that. So, yeah, there's no monitoring companies for these. I mean, there might be somebody that you can hire to watch the DVRs all the time, but I don't know of any companies that do that.
Okay. Any other questions from the board? Jack, did you have another question?
No.
Okay, all right, seeing none, thank you very much, we'll get back with you. And thank you, and have a,
Thank you.
try and stay warm.
Thank you. Appreciate
And we have one more coming. We have to talk about the others.
That was Lewis here.
I don't know if he's, well, we've got,
We'll go see if our other guys here.
okay. I think
Yeah,
he
but that's
does.
one of the things I made on my list. Whoever we choose, we need to go back and ask that question.
Yeah, and see what they come back, yeah.
Yeah.
We got a lot of
I got you.
After we hear about what this is. I just turned on my
And he's doing 8 megabits. He's on the same
We don't. We're gonna put in cameras that people, whatever. We don't need really. Yeah. Not to be talk on. Well, and what he said, what he did say, yeah, that is and Vera, they are state of thought, but that's all they do. In other words, this is what they do, is Vera.
Start by introducing yourself and then maybe you can say a little bit about your company.
Okay, I think our last vendor is here. Good morning. Let us know when you're ready.
That's a good idea.
You have one? You have one, Dave?
No, that's okay. I can
Let me go ahead.
Supposed to be empty?
No, does yours have stuff in it?
There's nothing in it. So how-
Here, Dave. I'm looking. Well, she doesn't have one either.
Done.
No, the other side.
No, it's a different process.
Did you have support of Ben?
Does everybody have a copy of the forms in your packet?
Look at the very back. There's a white piece of paper.
Everybody has a proposal in
Right.
the back.
This is it, that you should have in your packet, the last one.
Yeah,
There's only one clue.
right, that's all there is.
It's all one.
I've got the service name.
Yes.
Okay. I think we're all set. I think we've got it all. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes. Good morning. How are you doing today?
Fine, thank you.
So my name is Louis Keenan. I'm with American Systems. I'm here to propose the active video surveillance for the pool area.
Could you move the mic up just a little closer to you because people in the audience want to hear you too.
You can catch your name.
My name is Louis, and I'm with Emera Systems. I'm here to propose the security system for the pool area here at the clubhouse. So for the security system that we have, we're going to have 2 active video surveillance cameras for the pool, one facing the spa, one facing the pool area. It will have a talk-down feature, so we will be able to talk down to any intruder, anyone that comes into the area after hours. And how that works is our AI detection. It'll detect anyone that's not, whether if it's an animal, if it's a palm that moves, it will, of course, detect that that's not a human being. It'll detect once it detects that it is a human being, it'll send over to our virtual agent. They'll hop on and they'll be able to see live footage of what's going on and who's there. We'll be able to speak to them directly through a 2-way speaker. And then we'll be able to talk them down. If they're not supposed to be there, we'll go ahead and let them know that they have, an allotted amount of time to leave the premises. After 2 or 3 attempts, if they do not leave, we will actually contact law enforcement. And if they require any type of information, whether it be a video, a description of the individual, anything like that, we can provide all of that. So the board doesn't have to do any of that. We do all of that work on our end. And then besides that, when it's not active, if it's not after hours, during normal operation, it is recording 24/7, and it's 30 days of recording. So you can go back up to 30 days. And that's all stored in-house. It'll be stored on an equipment rack that would be stored here in the clubhouse.
Okay, first question. We have a monitor right now that shows all our cameras. Would there be a possibility we would have to have a second monitor so that we can see it in real time as well as recording on,
Yes, great question. So we don't provide a monitor. So if there is, one that's currently in use, we would require an additional monitor to set that up. After installation, our implementation team actually comes out, sets everything up, shows you how to use it, how to change, different feeds, different views. But yeah, we would require a monitor, a TV, or whatever the case may be. Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Louis, thank you so much for coming. I wanted you to tell me and the rest of the members of the board a little bit about your company. How long, for instance, how long you've been in business, what your installed base is here in Pasco County, and how many employees roughly you guys have.
Of course, certainly. Thank you for the question. So now we're over 500 employees currently between our virtual guards, our installation team, our service techs, our outreach team, marketing team, about over 500 employees that we currently have right now. We're expanding exponentially currently. We're in all of Florida. We are in Texas as well. Small areas of Texas, but we are hoping to kind of reach the level we're at with Florida in Texas as well. We've been in business since 2005, and between last year and this year, we've had a huge growth in our customers, a lot of changes in our structure of how we're structured, a lot of positive feedback we've received from how we're structured now. So a lot of positive changes that we've seen throughout these past couple of months.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Did we give you the opportunity to quote on this full package project that we're doing here? Are you aware of our full package project that's going on here?
No, sir.
Okay, I'm afraid, Jack, that we didn't give him the opportunity to quote on the whole job. I'm guessing you have the capabilities. I mean, because other people have been in, and what we asked for was basically replacing our camera system that we have and adding on some more capacity. And it sounds like you guys might have the ability to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, we have everything. We have virtual gate guards like the kiosks at the front gate. We have security cameras. We have access control for vehicles as well as pedestrians. So access controls for the clubhouse, for the pool. So like key fobs, Bluetooth for your phones. We can pretty much do it all.
No, I really mean we have, I don't know, 30 cameras around here. And we're talking about replacing cameras and wiring and initially we had an interest in you because of your talk down capability with some things that we had going on here.
Of course.
But if you have the ability to quote on the same kind of things that the last three people have been in here to quote on, I think we should give you the opportunity to quote on that.
Oh, of course, I'd be more than happy to. I would just, of course, require, take a look to see what cameras need replacing and locations of the cameras, et cetera.
I don't think we were fair to you. You gave us this opportunity when we asked for this, but it sounds like you have the ability to do the same kind of things that last people that have been here have.
Certainly, of course, we could, it doesn't have to be active cameras. It also could be just standard passive cameras. Sure.
Yeah, we would be looking at passive cameras everywhere else, really. Passive cameras and rerunning cable, because right now we're on coax and we want to go to the Cat 6. And well, I'm sure Jack can fill you in on where and what.
Depending on how much time you've got, Louis, I can run you through it pretty quick of what we're looking at.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, I mean, I'd be more than happy to, same thing, put that together. I would be more than delighted to do that today. I'm available today. We definitely walk with Jack and kind of see, where cameras are needed, how many cameras you needed, and get a quote on that as well for you.
How quick could you get us a quote?
Say maybe 3 days, 2 to 3 days.
Yeah, it would be.
Between the design and sending it up to my team, they review, they quote it out, and they get back to me.
Because I keep hearing you say the pool area, but we've extended it to the tennis courts and the bocce courts and everything else.
Oh, okay, excellent.
Plus we have 20 indoors here too.
Excellent. Okay. Yeah, we do dome cameras, not just bullet cameras for outdoor. We do dome cameras as well for indoor. So
Yeah.
We can definitely do that. Yep. Yeah, no.
And maybe moving, we might have to move cameras,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have the,
I think,
Yeah, we weren't fair to this guy.
no, you're right. We didn't. Yeah, well, that's all right. Well, I think we have,
Pick up an extra gig.
that sounds good. I'll get to it. I'll get to it right away, and I'll work with Jack, and we'll work that out as quick as possible, and I'll get that turned around.
okay, thank you.
Of course, thank you. Thank you all for your time.
Well, let me ask one question that I was gonna ask before. Okay, we have a fob system right now. I'm just talking about the pool where we definitely want the top down, the pool in the spot. What would we do so that you would know if somebody who's not supposed to be there? How would we know? I mean, let's say it's 3 o'clock in the morning and there are 5 people in the hot tub.
You have to give the criteria of what they want to.
What kind of criteria would you need from us?
Correct. So whenever we do pull it up and there is, the lifeguard pulls up the video surveillance, with the description or name, we can put that in the notes. So as soon as the video comes up, there's notes on the side. Whatever description you give us or a name, if that individual gives us that description or name, then, of course, we won't take action.
Okay. I'm wondering if there's a way to get access to our fob system
Match them together.
and our, and even, resources master system so that he could, or he, not you, but whoever the person is could go and say, okay, the fob system registered this number coming in. This number equates to so-and-so, that you can, ask them, what is your name? And if they say Joe Smith and it's registered to Carrie
So
Jones.
can I address that with?
Sure.
Okay, so our system right now, we identify the key by address, not by person, because the fob is with the actual house unit. So they would have to verify their address, not last name.
Might be a guess.
The guest would have to know what address they're staying at. They would have to know grandma's address. So would that be something that they could identify? If, you know, your person would ask, I need to know your address that you're at, and then they could pull it up that way through our system, our database?
So I know we have something that's called Community Plus that kind of cross-references with different access control systems. I could verify with what's currently being used here to see if that's something that we can do, and just because that'll give us access to, you know, let's say someone comes through the pool gate, it'll, you know, we'll be able to know, oh, hey, that person's supposed to be there, as opposed to
Right.
having to every time, you know, ask and say, hey,
Right.
you know, what's your name or what's your purpose, you know. being here
Right,
at-
because we
at
don't
the
have a
center.
database with the name on the fobs.
Okay,
It's
it's by
all
address, yeah.
by address.
Okay, so yeah, I'll get that information and I'll be able to
Thank you,
answer
Debbie.
that.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I
and-
had some teenagers come up here one time and said they were from Meadow Oaks. We don't have a Meadow Oaks. It's another subdivision.
Oh, wow, okay, thank you. Yeah, yeah.
The other question is, if somebody hops the fence, which, definitely, they obviously don't belong, but you would have to have access to any cameras or something that shows the fence opening, you know, if you said, how did you get in, you know, if the top-down person said, how did you get in?
Correct, so that's why we get, placed the two cameras, trying to get like as much view as possible. If there's any, you know, dead areas that we might miss, of course, we keep that out of our reach. But whatever is in our field of view, we would make sure that they're out of that field of view. And we try to cover at least, you know, 100% of the pool area, the
Okay, all right. I think we are done with you, but if Jack can take you around and show you so that you can get us a quote for the,
certainly, of course, I'll get on that. Thank you so much.
thank you very much, Louis.
Of course, thank you guys.
All right. We'll let Louis leave and then let's do a little bit of discussion on what we think we want total. You know, where we're looking.
So you want me to go work with,
Yeah.
Louis?
Yeah.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You too. You're very right, we did. It's like- Yeah. That's the building. Yeah. All right. Okay, board. Before picking one, since we can't right now because we don't know what this quote's gonna come in or whatever. What do we want is the question. If we had our druthers,
I personally like the 8 coax because we are gonna have to eventually extend.
do you want to go with the Cat 8?
Yeah,
Cat 6?
well.
I'm going ahead 2 years and 8
Yeah,
minutes.
the 8 meg. I think.
Okay, what I'm saying is what Donna said, was that she prefers Cat 6 wiring, the newer wiring, with 8 megapixel cameras. Is there anyone on the board that thinks we don't need to do the Cat 6? And of course, money will make a decision, will be involved in the decision
You know, I
too.
was just gonna say that you
Yeah,
gotta be careful you're edging in on decisions. But that's the kind of discussions we need, but we haven't heard from you.
we haven't heard from this,
Right.
I'm kind of leaving money out of it at this point. What I'm saying is, if we had our druthers, and that it would be within our budget, that we could afford it, what would we want? And I think that we can all, with the proper wiring. I think it's silly to keep the same wiring at this point, but I'm saying the majority right now, that's what we're looking at. That, okay.
I don't think that that's
In the
really
mic.
frugal to, just go with the same wiring. I mean, and it's obsolete.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna do it, do it right. Yeah, it saves money, but in the long run, doesn't.
All right.
My feeling is that it's not obsolete, it's there. But I feel if we're gonna change and go to a new system, the cost is not that great to go to with a new one.
All right, so what we're thinking at this point, money not being the driver of what we're saying, is we want the Cat 6 and 8 megapixel. Where would we want top-down cameras and where don't we want top-down cameras?
Madam President, my feeling is that you've already identified the two areas. I really can't see the parking lots, I can't see the front door, I can't see doing any of that.
So the pool area would be where we'd want the top-down. We want two-way communications.
The next area, if you want to consider further, would be like the front door, but I just don't feel that's any more than any of the other doors, really. And
Right.
The other problem we've had is this door off of our auditorium here. We have in the past had to replace, I think we once had a sign up. It's like $1,500 to put that sucker back on the track to keep all of those and different things like that.
Well, we still have the sign on there
Yeah, okay,
about
well, that's a good sign.
it
But-
says,
but I'm
don't
saying-
manually try to push the door.
I would say those would be the secondary considerations, but I really don't think it's necessary.
Have we had vandalism up at the tennis court?
No.
No, but we have had several calls and everything
What
where
about
the
the
gates are
parking
being
lot?
left open. And that's an open opportunity if these teenagers see that that door is wide open to go in there and vandalize it.
Yeah, but if there's kids in there on their bicycles and those kind of things, and we have, I'm pretty adamant about a third-party monitoring company. And we've got a third-party monitoring company and there's kids on bicycles. It's simple, they call the cops.
Right.
Well, we've had a third party before with the, I can't remember the name of the company, but it didn't seem to do us any good.
Yeah, I'm just pulling names out of the air because I don't know of
I
any,
can't
somebody
remember
like
the
an
name of the
ADT
company.
or somebody like that, but that's their business to monitor.
No,
We didn't
had that.
we didn't have cameras monitored.
No,
We had-
they called us up. Jerry went down, talked to the cops and all that. Nothing ever came of any of that.
Not now either, but
That was when someone saw something on, that was not, we didn't have it monitored. I don't think we ever,
Well, they
did
couldn't
we
talk.
have it monitored?
They could
You
not
had
talk
the
through the
app on your
camera.
phone.
I had an app on my
Right, but
phone
that
and,
was-
and Jerry had an app on the
They would
phone.
call
Yeah.
But
Jerry.
we
So-
didn't have a company
Yeah,
monitoring it.
Yes, we did. We had ADT.
Yeah.
We did?
Yes, and they
ADT.
would call Jerry to say, do you want us to proceed? Do you want us to call authorities?
Okay, they
Yeah,
did.
we did have
I
it.
had it on my phone, but I wasn't the one that they, oh.
We got rid of them because it was a waste of money.
Well, we can always stop the monitoring part
If it doesn't work.
if it doesn't work. we still have the camera.
I like the 2-for-1 that I've been mentioning, is that we used to do, and we'd have to do 7 days instead of 5. We'd have a janitor in here, I think from 11 to 7, 11 PM to 7 AM. And I think then we need to also, back then, they would not allow me to write out some instructions, but to have them as also one of their duties is monitoring, not apprehending, not approaching, maybe giving the warning out over the microphone, but at least have them in here clean, useful. We're paying money out, and I hated paying money out for somebody to sit there. But besides that, when you sit there for freaking 8 hours, you're liable to fall asleep. I know in the military, we always broke the guard duties up to 2-hour shifts because of that. And, you don't have that luxury here. But if we have them have some kind of duty, can work in here with the, washing the windows and, I don't know, I'm not into that, but something useful here that they can do, and we get a return, a bang for our buck, plus we have a presence in the building, and they would have written instructions, no apprehension, no face-to-face confirmation, but, a warning, and then calling the police. And I think that would be better spent dollars than some monitoring company. What are they gonna call it? What,
Rick, the thing is if somebody's washing windows or washing floors, they're not manning the monitors, so,
Well, I don't think they're gonna man the monitors. I think they're gonna be walking around inside this building and looking out. It's pretty obvious if somebody's out there, and now and then they can check the monitor, but I don't want to pay somebody to sit and watch the monitor. I mean, it's.
that's why a monitoring services, they're paid to do that. These cameras will alert that person that something.
I'm sorry, Dave. Finish out, Dave, and then I'll say something.
That's okay.
But I found that my dealings with security, I was on the district attorney staff, and I was on, all that bullshit with also chief public defender, that most of these people have alarm clocks and different things, and go around and walk and check. They even try to force them to go and have a clock, so every hour they got to check building. But there's no useful thing being given to us except for that observation. And I just don't think it's gonna work out to have somebody sit in that office for 8 hours to monitor.
So we're not, no one's talking about that. Now, and look, at the price of hiring someone, you'd have to pay at least almost $20 an hour for someone.
Maybe with benefits, it's pretty much minimum wage.
Yeah, but
Which is $14.50.
and by the time we add it's $20 an hour at least. Comp and, all that, and they would, of course, would be the more expensive workman's comp because they'd be doing physical labor rather than office labor.
Well, I think it could work if you took your daytime person, put them on nighttime, and had them cleaning in here. It would just be.
Oh, but compare that to, for net, right now, they're talking, this was 2 cameras. And they would be with the top-down network monitoring and the service and maintenance plan, which, of whether we need that or not, is $300 a month. We're not going to get anybody to do it for $300 a month.
I agree.
Oh, no. But I'm just saying, taking your day person and paying anyway to do a job and have them cleaning at nighttime.
Yeah, but they do more than just clean.
What's that?
They do more than just clean. They set up the furniture back and forth. They can't do that at night. They can set it up
Person outside.
and then
Who?
yeah. But,
Okay.
yeah,
I'm just, the first I won't talk about any specifics of it, but the first person talked about that service, and we asked what the service was, and they say they check the equipment once every
This
24
is-
hours. And then, that really is not a monitoring.
No, that's not, I'm going by Enviro.
Well, did we ask them what exactly? I don't think they probably have. Most of these places do not have, where somebody is sitting there watching it all the time.
He said they have virtual security. They
Well,
have something, there's an
Well, you
alarm
know-
that goes off that then it causes a person to go look at it.
you'd have to investigate.
He won't be.
It's worthwhile investigating. I agree with that.
He wouldn't be doing it for just us. The guy sitting there is doing it.
Pool active video surveillance, $293.
But what it is, it's not been defined. I mean, that first
That's-
person.
okay,
they
that's
thought
the
that was-
question.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll accept questions from the audience if there are any. Please come up.
Bill? Turn the mic on.
Should be green.
There's a dot on it somewhere that should be green.
Oh, come on, say something so I can yell and get it.
Okay. Now it's on?
It's on.
So, I'm Bill Evans on Benton Drive. What's the range of these talk-down cameras? Somebody's gonna come in the gate and keep walking. This guy's gonna talk to him as he's walking away to go to the pool, and he's supposed to hear him? I mean, we're not,
There's speakers that are being put up too.
they're gonna be big speakers?
I don't know.
I haven't heard anything about speakers till
We
right now.
will, when we hear the last, first, before we sign a contract, we will be asking them extra questions such as that. Okay,
The actual camera itself has the capability of listening and talking.
Yeah.
And we can even have it with a siren on it or a flashing light. It just depends on, what we think will work the best for us. But it's all involved in the turret camera.
Mhm. I'm just saying, people are hard of hearing here, they might not hear them. So if you're gonna put a speaker on, that'd be okay, but I haven't heard anybody say anything about a speaker. Because I have cameras at my house, I have my house up in Pennsylvania, and you basically have to be looking at the camera in order to talk back and forth.
That's a good point, and I tell you what, I'm gonna write that down, Bill, and I'll ask about it when we're talking about capabilities. So thanks for bringing that up. You got something else?
Yeah, that's a few things.
Okay.
This is Bill.
As far as the megapixels go, they go up to 16 right now. They don't just stop at 8 like they've been saying. And the one guy with 5, that's ridiculous. Like you said, I said, my phone is 50. So, and then we talked about the night vision, recording time, the trigger time. On the cameras, as they detect movement, they trigger on, and they only record so long, and they stop. And it could be up to 25 seconds before it kicks back on. So you need to make sure that it's continuous.
It is.
But if it's not continuous, you got a possible 25 seconds that it's not going to record.
Bill, I'm almost sure, I've written that down again to check it. But from the research that I've done, the cameras that we're looking at are continuous.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
24/7. So it's not, the only time motion is going to be involved in it is when somebody comes across it. It has a special power to be able to focus in on that person a little bit better, so that supposedly you can even see the wrinkles in people's faces. It'll be that clear. So we'll see if that's the truth, but I've made a note of that, and I'll make sure that whatever decision that we all make, that we take that into consideration.
I'd also take a look at fiber and just see what the difference between Cat 6 and fiber is. This fiber is a hell of a lot better than Cat 6.
Well, as the guy said, when I asked him that prompted by our conversation during the break. And he said that when you use fiber optic, true, it does come in a lot clearer, but then you have to have junction boxes and move them all out.
That's just an initial setup. That's the only time you do that. Once it's on.
I've got a note on it. I'll make a special point of asking that to us. I know the other board members will too.
Mhm. Okay.
Anything else that there's a concern to you, Bill?
What's something?
There is, I just can't think of it.
Well,
Okay.
It'll pop in there when it does.
If it does come back.
Oh,
These are
I'd
good
say give
points.
this guy a chance, because he's offering monitor services along with his thing. You know, so I would definitely give him a shot at it to see what the price is.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
thanks.
agree with you on that for sure. Thanks, Bill.
Yeah, you guys don't know who I am. So my question is this, this is going back, something my father always taught me. You get what you pay for. So no, I don't believe in going with a couple of these because for one, not this last guy, because I think we really got to give him a chance to come back and explain more. And I think the first one was absolutely excellent. The other two, I'm not too crazy about, but that's my opinion. But I really think you get what you pay for. And I want to come out and say it. We can afford it because if you got rid of a maintenance guy who makes $30,000 a year, roughly, we can afford to pay for $38,000 for $8,000 more. It's a one-time shot. And I really think we shouldn't just jump with the cheapest. We should go with what we think's the best.
That's what our intention
That's
is.
our job.
Thank you, David.
Come on. Just identify yourself.
My name is Joan Medico.
You can pull that down, Joe, the picture.
And I've heard all of this, but I've not heard anyone request references. I mean, are there other communities that have similar situations and have been using these vendors?
Well, we've looked up the reviews and everything.
Okay, because I hadn't heard that said about anything. And that's something that, myself, when I look at something, I always look at the company, the reviews, and also personal references, because that does make a difference. Sometimes you get a review from someone because they're a friend, so I just think that's a very important thing, especially when it comes to monitoring, because what it sounded like to me is that they will monitor. The last guy was wonderful. I mean, AI is just fantastic. And I think that the way that they do it is the AI is the one that actually responds. And someone doesn't know if that's a real person or not. So there might be they might think that somebody is actually inside monitoring what they're doing. So, I mean, to me, modern technology is the way to go. And of course, again, references.
Thank you.
Joe, thank you so much.
Anyone else?
I was here late, but Marion Evans Benton. Oh, Marion Evans Benton.
Well, down.
Okay. I was gonna say about if it was a lot of money, if we could do it in segments, like get the better plan, but maybe, do a certain thing if we wanted to add more on later. I know we were talking about that at a meeting. I didn't see the first, 3/4 of this, but, if our thing is obsolete now or almost obsolete, can we, with this new system, can we add more on? Did that come up? I wasn't.
The first company said.
Okay,
yes, we
yeah,
could
to add more.
There
Everyone, all three bidders were bidding on additional cameras.
So, okay. And then I know he said, adding two, and one in the pool and one at the spa. We're gonna add one down by the gate, like on the,
This last presentation, what he was presenting was just monitoring the pool.
oh, okay, so
And
he didn't get that one.
that's why we said to him, that Mike brought up,
Okay.
that we should have given you the
full thing.
ability to quote the whole job, which is why we stopped when we did, because we're gonna wait and see what that comes back with.
And then, would that be like a contract with these people, like if it's a monitoring thing and all of that?
Yes.
So that would be like a yearly, so if we didn't like them, we could get some.
I have no idea how long the contract would be, but there is a monthly fee for the monitoring with the talk down.
Okay. And then I guess probably just, the warranties, the warranties on things.
Well,
So we wanna have
they're all
warranties.
over the place from
Yeah.
10 years to 3 years.
Every one of them.
It's just some things I wrote down myself. All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Last chance.
I don't know if he'll say anything, but the gentleman here works with cameras. Do you have anything you could add for the board? Yes, you.
Mr. Blue,
Very Blue. And I don't work with cameras, I work with security and security computers. And what I can tell you, I've been out of the business a few years. What we've seen here is new ideas, new technology. But nobody mentioned anything about backups. How long can we keep the data? And
30 days.
that's it.
No,
What happens-
we can immortalize, if we wanted to, we could download it to a permanent hard drive to another.
Or you can increase the size of the DVR from a 20 terabyte to a 40 terabyte.
Okay. You gotta think about that because sometimes you notice that something happens maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. By the time you get the chance to review whatever it is, maybe a car accident, it's gone at the end of the month.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is, you have a scheduled backup, also automatic. Overall, anytime that you have a major entranceway where we use fob, you should have a camera there. That's the only way they get in other than climbing through a window. So where your cameras are placed are main entrances and around the building, any kind of area that can be gotten into. If they climb a fence, you've got plenty of room that you can capture that information without having specialty cameras. What you need to do if you want a specialty camera is to identify places that would be unusual for people to come into. Climbing a fence is a little unusual. People around here, even the kids, don't go over a fence that easily.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, really?
Yes. Oh, we've had.
We got
more-
films of them.
We have, yeah, we've got a lot of teenagers who, one person flips over the fence and then he comes around and opens the door and everybody else comes in.
They're younger than I am.
Yeah.
They all are.
They all are.
Younger than us.
But the object is, where you want a camera is to capture something worthwhile. And the fences are pretty much worthwhile, but they don't have to be perfect. If you're looking for help in the parking lot, you can have wide angle views and have maybe 1 or 2 cameras that you can focus and concentrate on. But I'm sure you're gonna help more other people with any kind of car accidents that are out there. Or some unusual people that you don't want even around the parking lots. So when you place all this stuff, tennis courts, nobody goes out to the tennis courts. Sure they do. But it's private and quiet. Your security is mainly in the building. And you don't want them getting in. But once they get in, you want to capture them. So wherever you place the cameras, that's good. Make sure you got a little bit of a backup to it, that you can do it a month or two down the road. You may need it again, especially in the way the court systems work very slowly. You don't want to lose any of that data. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Which leads me to something that we haven't talked about at all. Well, I mean, Barry brought up inside the building. Have we had an issue with problems inside the building? Not to my knowledge, but that doesn't mean we won't someday. And the cameras we have, are we comfortable that the cameras we have today inside the building adequate to capture that if we have somebody in
The
here?
building, inside of the building is well covered, with the exception of the craft room, which we would be adding that camera to this project.
Okay.
We got cameras in every room.
You know, if somebody came in here in the night.
Yeah.
With grandma's key fob and went up and down, spray painting the walls or whatever,
We
we'd want to
would
be able to
catch
see
them.
them.
Yeah.
The thing, like,
There's two.
the only
Two
thing
there,
I've
sorry.
heard is a couple of, some of the card, boxes that were in the card room have been taken, and nobody knows who did it. But I haven't heard of anything inside the building because it's a little harder to get in here than it is to climb over the fence, which is where most of the issues are.
The biggest problem is the spa and
The only issue I've ever seen in here is there was a guy sitting in one of the rooms with a little dog sitting beside him, and he had his vape thing out. And he said he was just sitting, taking a break. Does he live in here? What?
Watch TV.
we have people here at all hours,
Yeah.
which is okay. That's why we do it, but we do have the ability to see, and if we notice something, we have the cameras.
Just so we're comfortable that our inside coverage is adequate also, because just because it's never happened doesn't mean that someday it won't.
Well, what we're all trying to do is exactly what you're saying, to make sure for the people that are sitting out there in the other 2,000 that there are homeowners here, that we're covering this for the next 15 or 20 years. That's the decision we're making. And I think all of us are taking it seriously and trying to figure out all the things, listening to the folks who've come up today and giving us some other things to think about, including that in our decision, so.
All right, seeing no more questions, I'll ask for,
I move that we.
okay.
dismiss this meeting.
Do I have a motion to adjourn? Do I have a second? Second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Seeing none.
Something unanimous.
It's a unanimous decision.
Sure that the speaker